EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us roughly midway between Boston and Providence. Everybody knows it as Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? Bringing it out of his end zone, Isaiah Rodgers. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. So they will set up shop. Excellent field position in the red zone at the 19-yard line.
To put it mildly, that is not the way anyone wants to start off a game. You fumble on your first offensive snap. But now what you're worried about is, does that linger throughout the game for your guys on offense? And how's the defense going to handle it? Because no one expects to run out on the field on the first play and have to all of a sudden start to play themselves.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working. But how about his vision to see where the play was going? Crashed down inside and tackled him for a loss.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jones. Henry's got it out on the left side. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kenny Moore. And the Colts are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. 1-7 their record here at the midway point of the season. And right now this organization, more than likely if you look at it, CD, probably in for a rough second half of the season.
Well, we've seen teams turn things around in other places. I mean, we've seen 1-7 first halves turn into 5-3 second halves. But with this squad, I think these guys aren't playing to get into the playoffs. They're playing for their jobs. So is the coaching staff. They're coaching for theirs. Front office trying to keep theirs. The heat is on from all directions. And with
a throw for Pittman is intercepted. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has, really. They come up here now, first down. And he is going to lose yardage here. Stuck for a loss by Christian Barmore.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And this passing game, this whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Ryan. Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. To punt on fourth down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And where did this one go out? Now they'll start with good field position, 45-yard line. First carry for Damian Harris, the Alabama man. That'll be a New England first down, a gain of 12. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to...
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That's Darius Leonard, the linebacker who got in and got him to the turf.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
And for the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on third down. Now Jones. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the Colts are going to take possession here at their own 33. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Charles, I don't know what's going on in that defensive team meeting room, but they better keep it rolling. 3 picks last week, 2 here now in the first quarter.
Everyone talks about creating turnovers and getting takeaways, but until it gets put into action, it's just talk. And right now, it's in action and in a big way. Now they've got the receivers wondering if they have to turn around and play more defense instead of running routes trying to take the ball downfield.
From the 30 on second down, Jones eluding the pressure right. But he's got his target, Harris. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. So roughing the passer there, a big mistake defensively.
Yeah, and even though you've got a quarterback out of the pocket and the rules change downfield, that doesn't mean the same rules don't apply with the QB. Anything more than one step, they're going to throw a flag on you every time.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through.
And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. A nightmare on third and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him. So on 4th down, Jones jogs off, and on comes a longtime vet, Nick Folk, for the Pats field goal try. This will be spotted at the 20, so it's a 30-yard attempt. Folk's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a first-and-goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Rolling to it, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Matthew Judon in there to take him down.
A move to New England from Baltimore suited Matthew Judon nicely with 12.5 sacks in his first year of a new 4-year contract with the Patriots. That was a new career high for him, 7th in the NFL and the most for a Patriot since 2015.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Ryan. He's got him in, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And that goes for a gain of 31.
This offense has been slow to get started, but that play will certainly give them a little bit of life. Maybe the late wake-up call that they've been seeking.
On 1st down, Ryan. There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That play going nowhere thanks to Devin McCourty.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
On 2nd and 15 now. Ryan. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. 3rd and long. It's Ryan. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's Kyler Duggar who picks it. And the Pats will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal. From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Quiddy Pay getting in there and burying him behind the line.
I don't know about you, but if I'm the offensive line coach right now, I'm having an absolute fit. This team that they're going against has 3 sacks, yet they rank dead last in the league in sacks coming into this game.
Maybe overlooked them a little bit?
Could be. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if they've just gotten fortunate along the way. I have no real great answer for it, but we're seeing something you don't often see.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That'll go as a 42-yard punt. They'll be aided by a loss of yardage on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
2nd and 10. It's Ryan again. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Ryan. Open man is Pettis. It's complete. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
A 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Again, Ryan. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Now Ryan. And he can't escape, and down he goes. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. They spot it on the midfield stripe. So it is a 60-yard attempt here. And off the crossbar, no good. A sensational effort from that distance, but rejected by the bar. All things considered, a pretty good kick. Just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck. And unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
They'll drop this one down to Cohen, and they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Throwing, Jones.
That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And now Nick Folk. His career long, 56 yards. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield. A 59-yard attempt. And did he have enough? He did. He kept it on line and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And that will extend their lead even further. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
This will be fielded inside the 5.
So we've reached halftime here at Gillette Stadium with the Patriots on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Our two teams making their final preparations for the second half. And as they do, we send it back out to Foxborough, where we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So here we go for half number 2. The Patriots with the lead, and they will be getting the football. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
That one good for 37 yards. And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive. Oh, Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception. Picked off by Julian Blackmon. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Well, here in this third quarter, the whole complexion of the ball game flips on a dime there, CD. This is back to a 1-score game.
And sometimes when your offense is sputtering, you as a defensive unit have to take it upon yourselves to say, we've got to go out there, maybe take a few chances along the way, and see if we can generate some points ourselves. And lo and behold, they were able to deliver.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And it's now 13-7. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. Jones, another shot here after the pick 6.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Ryan. Caught on a slant. And the Colts are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Taylor is not going to get in. In fact, he'll lose a couple of yards back to the 3. So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. To throw is Ryan. Got a man, it's Pittman, and he holds it in for the Colts touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Colts use the short field to get in for 6. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that will put them on top here in the 3rd. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jones. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play.
How about that shuffle pass? Or if you want to call it the shovel pass, that's fine too. That's one of those plays that you can take a little bit of risk there because you're trying to throw the ball into the middle of the field where a lot of big bodies lurk, and they can knock it away, pick it off, but they were able to execute it successfully on that play.
The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that'll likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
A 3rd quarter now and a 1-point game as they line up 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Jones swings this out here for Cohen. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown.
And my goodness, another interception. The 20. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Blankenship out for the point after. And with that, the lead is up to 8.
Makes the score Colts 21, Patriots 13.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Their catch made at the 25-yard line. The Patriots take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
New England with a first down as they begin the drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Kenny Moore. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll run here with Taylor. And he is going to lose yardage here. And that's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. On second down, it's Taylor. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long third and goal. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Dietrich Wise in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to fourth down. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. Blankenship's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that CD, an important one here in the fourth quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now Jones throwing on first down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Desperation time now. Here's Jones. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Patriots come up empty on fourth down. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. First and 10, Taylor now. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, now Ryan. And he'll find Pittman. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
And I think there defensively, they were so intent on stopping the run that they kind of got caught out of position. This is just a simple pitch and catch for a first down.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. He'll buy some time right. He'll find Taylor. That's complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
Bryant wants to throw it. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Christian Barmore collapses the pocket and drops him for a loss of 3.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Ryan. Touchdown Colts. Dante Pettis from 3 yards out. And the Colts look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off.
Fair catch. Made at the 25-yard line. The Patriots take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
New England with a 1st down as they begin the drive. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. A big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. And that's complete downfield to Parker. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. They go play action here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now Jones. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for the Colts, it's a rare bright spot in what's been a tough season as they move to 2-7 now on the year. And they will be at home for one next week against the Las Vegas Raiders. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11.